Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday the 24th of September. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's a very cool, damp morning this morning. You can see I've got some stuff to bring down from the car there. As always, keeping topped up on a variety of things this week. That just happens to be layers pellets for the chickens. Real noticeable difference in the weather this last couple of weeks. Definite drop in temperatures. It's about 9 degrees at the moment, which is a bit on the cool side. A little bit of a orange tinge in the sky this morning as the sun tries to get up over the trees. Not sure we'll see much of that today because there's lots of cloud in the sky. Did have a bit of rain overnight. Definite change in the weather. The rabbits still try to dig that tree for some reason. They're not getting very far because there's so much stone underneath. They're not going to get a big hole in there, but they are still having a go. I don't know what the attraction is with that tree. Really don't know. Anyway, let's get opened up. Get that stuff brought off from the car, get the chickens sorted out, get a coffee on, usual stuff, and I'll catch up with you shortly. Well, that's the chicken feed moved across. If you're wondering why you've not seen me wandering across the field with the wheelbarrow, that's because when I loaded these onto it, it popped the tyre. So, not good. Another little job for me to do. Anyway, that noise in the background is the diesel heater. Just giving that a run to warm up the cabin a little bit. Somebody commented on my onions earlier on in the week, so I've actually lifted what's left of the onions. They've just been sat in there since, I think it was Tuesday, drying out, so they'll be ready to go home. Really pleased with the onions this year, really pleased. Anyway, let me get myself in the cabin, get the chicken feed, get this corn or layers pellets that I've just brought across put away, sort the chickens out, and we'll get inside for a coffee and a chat. Well, first things first, as usual, sort the chickens out. They're quite happy now, scratching around with that corn and mixed seed that they've got in there. I'll be back shortly with some greenery because it is the weekend after all. But for now, let's get myself in the cabin, get the coffee on and have a warm up and have a chat. Well, good morning. It's the weekend again. It's been a cool week this week. As I was saying, coming across the field this morning, temperatures have definitely dropped and show no sign of returning. The steam coming off the coffee. How is everybody today? Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend and remaining calm through the chaos. But not ignoring the potential, which I guess is the theme of today's cabin chat. As I talk to people and as I kind of just see how people are behaving walking around the streets and in the supermarkets, normalcy bias, which is a thing, normalcy bias seems to have taken complete control, not helped by the media, who have used a variety of different stories over the past few weeks to distract from the real problems that are around us. Yes, there's a bit of talk about energy crisis. Here in the UK we had a mini budget announced by the government today who are taking action for the energy crisis. They're going to save us all. Don't believe it for a second. So there is lots of stuff going on. I've got a little tiny list here just to prompt and remind me of what is going on. Before I launch into it, quick question for you. The cabin chats and the subjects that are discussed, is it useful or not? I mean, I give my take on what I think is happening around the world and the things that I think that people should be focusing on. And I get that it's a bit of a monologue. And you do have the opportunity to post your comments, and thank you to the ones that do. But I'm not entirely sure if you find this kind of content useful, or whether you would prefer to just do a video review of a torch or a battery bank or a knife, or do something on food storage. Or, I mean, I've covered these individual prepping item topics at great length over the course of the last 3 years. And if you look back, if you're new or recently arrived, if you look back over the video content on my channel, pretty much everything you can think of is there. I've covered food storage, emergency power, water filtration, building shelters, fires, a variety of different prepping tools. So the content is there. I'm just not sure if that's the kind of thing that you want to see all the time, or whether these cabin chats are actually useful. So do me a favour, pop a comment in the comment section. Do you like this kind of content? Would you rather see me up and down the field on the tractor? Would you rather I just spent my time looking at the chickens up close and personal in the coop, you know, the old hand feed of the lettuce that you've seen in lots and lots of videos? Give me a bit of a steer. I'm trying to get some direction as to what to focus on as we go through the rest of this year. So there you are. Sorry, I digress, as I often do. So yeah, media is having a field day with non-topics, various celebrity news. The one thing that they are really focusing on and blaming the ills of the world on is the conflict in Ukraine. So I'll start off there, I guess. I don't want to labour the point on the Russia-Ukraine thing, because it's been done to death in a variety of YouTube channels, and I find it a little bit annoying sometimes, the amount of prepping channels that have just completely talk about nothing else but Russia and World War III. It's coming tomorrow. And whilst I agree, yes, there is a potential there, personally, I don't think so. I think, again, scroll back through my videos to the start of this year, before it actually happened. I think they're going to focus on this one specific eastern part of Ukraine that historically has huge links to Russia. The Russian people, or the people there, speak Russian. In numerous referendums and elections before, they've always voted pro-Russia, pro-joining Russia. So I honestly do think that the whole objective of this incursion into Ukraine is around that eastern region, taking that eastern region and, like Crimea, popping it into Russia. I don't honestly believe that this is some bigger war game that Putin wants to take over Europe, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, he has mobilised some reservists this week. That caused a massive storm in the media. All kinds of talk about the Russians dropping nuclear bombs on Europe. Media reports that everybody in Russia is trying to get out now so they can avoid being called up into the military. A huge focus on that, which kind of detracts from the real things that are going on that will impact directly on me, you, our families and everybody else, actually pretty much globally, as we're heading towards winter. So I've picked a couple of topics. They are all interlinked because they just are. There is no one single thing that is going to cause a huge crisis. It's more a combination of these things. And I have covered them lots in previous videos, but there's been some additional news this week which just kind of reinforces the reason why you should be focusing on these things. Don't please accept the normalcy bias, accept the spin of government and media, bang your head in the sand and hope that it's all going to go away, because it's not going to go away. It's actually going to get worse. All of these things are combining, and I really do think we're going to see that perfect storm at the end of this year, if not before, who knows. So, economy. Lots of news in the media this week about the economy. Financial markets in the UK, US, Europe dumped again. They've just been on this huge continual decline from pretty much the start of last year, not this year. Again, this isn't something that's just happened because of Russia and Ukraine. This has been a continual grind for almost 2 years now. Interest rates in the UK and the US gone up again this week. I was looking at my mortgage account, and I'm quite fortunate. I've got a bit of a mix match of different parts of mortgage. As I've moved house over the last few years, I've managed to hang on to the low interest rate bits of different mortgages. And I've got interest rates as low as 1.4, 1.6% on parts of my mortgage. The biggest one, I think, is 2%. Anyway, I was looking just to see how these interest rate rises will potentially impact me when my fixed term rates come to an end in 2023, 2024. And it's quite startling. It's a good way to just get a handle on the reality of the interest rate rises and what they mean. So anybody who's got any kind of debt, have a look at your accounts. So my mortgage rates of 1.4, 1.6 and 2%, when they expire, at the moment, if they expired today, I would immediately go to 5%. Now that's a big jump. That's a huge jump. It's, you know, double, and indeed more than double. So whilst I get that it's the interest rate on the outstanding balance and it takes a proportion of it and it's spread over the course of the year, I get all of that, but it's still a huge jump, and I will see it. Were that to happen tomorrow, I would see an immediate impact. And similar thing with credit cards. So if I did it today, it would be 5%. So as these continuous rate rises keep getting added to, and they will over the next few months and into 2023, I mean, the various central banks have already said that in the media. Yes, there's another rate rise, and don't forget, it's going to continue. So longer term, that's something that's waiting to hit me and lots of other people a little bit down the line. So in 2023, 2024, that's when I'll see the real impact as my current rates fall away and I jump onto the new rate. Inflation continues its way upwards. The pound took a right hammering this week. It's at historic lows. So the economy is pretty much buggered, and a lot of this is connected to this energy crisis. I mentioned it briefly last week, but we've seen some more articles in the news this week around the potential for electricity blackouts or brownouts this winter as demand increases because of the change in weather and the need to stay inside more and use the heating more and the lighting more and so on and so forth. So again, whilst there is a real energy crisis now and we're really seeing it in terms of pricing, there is that longer effect yet to come. The reason I've been looking at portable power that can be replenished by solar in the form of these little solar power generators, it's with that in mind. I'm conscious that here in the cabin, I could just jump in the car, throw a load of stuff in, and essentially come and live here if I needed to. Wouldn't go down very well with work, perhaps. But it's, if you know the worst happened and I lost all power at home for an extended period, there's nothing to stop me actually coming here. I do have solar here. I've got battery backup on that solar here. I've got gas heating, I've got gas cooking, I've got wood burning stove for heating and for cooking. I've got a portable electricity generator. I've got a diesel heater. The list of the cabin and the land is pretty much endless in terms of energy self-sufficiency, but it's obviously not that way at home. So I'm actively looking to see what I can physically do. I can move the portable gas heater to the house over winter if I want to. I can likewise take the portable petrol generator to the house and use that if I need to. But the solar one has a lot of advantages. It gives me a bit of independence at home without messing around with stuff here at the cabin, moving stuff backwards and forwards. But it's also quiet. A portable electric generator that's powered by petrol or diesel makes a noise and draws attention to the fact that you have it. So do I want all of my neighbours to be knocking on my door saying, can I charge my laptop, my iPhone, can I boil a kettle, can I do this, can I do that? Not really. I'd rather just be hunkered down in my little house, self-sufficient, doing my own thing, and trying as much as I can to keep business as usual. The other people who have not bothered to prepare, they can just crack on and, and reap the rewards of their lack of prepping. So, sorry, I digress again. Energy, it is a massive thing, and again, it's not, although we are in a crisis now, financial type crisis with the cost of energy, we're not seeing the shortage or the lack of that energy just yet. That is a way down the line still, but it is coming quick. It's also impacting on other areas, the economy certainly, as businesses struggle to cope with the rising cost of running their business, and that was having a knock-on effect down the supply chain for everything pretty much, as they struggle with the pricing of energy to run their factory or to run their business. They're passing on that cost to me and you for the articles that we're buying, whatever that happens to be. So this is all combined, and I'm keen to get people to understand that it's no one thing. Yes, there is an impact to one thing, but all of these other things combine together for this huge one that's coming down the line when everything just breaks down. Government, as I said earlier, have started dishing out free money again. Hundreds of billions of pounds were announced this week to put a cap on the cost of energy that the utility suppliers can charge businesses. where's that hundreds of billions of pounds coming from? It's coming from me and you in the form of taxation and government borrowing that will need to be paid back by me and you through taxation further down the line. There's even talk now about about 3-4 years ago, companies applied for licenses to extract gas from the rock and shale beneath the ground. It's called fracking. It's pretty big, I think, in America and Canada. Geese flying over again. And we have got potentially huge reserves here in the UK. So 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was, companies started investing money to extract this gas from this rock deposit. Environmentalists and climate change guys jumped on the bandwagon, government caved in and they banned it. Big mistake. We could have been self-sufficient, and clearly now we're not, and you're paying for that in your gas bill. But there was talk in the media this week that government is going to allow companies to start back up again and try and start to extract this gas. It's a little bit like other countries in Europe. France springs to mind with its nuclear power. They just let theirs run down, and now all the plants have shut down for maintenance, all at the same time, right when there's an energy crisis. Poland, Germany, other Eastern European countries all got rid of the coal power stations, shut them all down or demolished them, as we did here in the UK. Now they've got an energy shortage of gas, they're struggling, and there's talk about reactivating the ones that weren't actually demolished. So there's lots going on the energy front. And yes, although we've got a crisis now in terms of pricing, there is that bigger problem of supply and availability coming down the line. One final one, weather. I've mentioned it a few times this morning in terms of how cool it is here this morning. Big weather events continue. All of the stuff we've seen for the last couple of years now with droughts and flooding, pests, which are a knock-on effect of the drought or the flooding as they've thrived rather than being killed off. It continues. We've got floods again in Europe this week, big one particularly in Spain. We've got I think it's Hurricane Fiona, running across the east coast of North America and heading into Canada. Lots of concern there. This is potentially the biggest one they've ever seen. And all of these weather events have had a direct impact on the food supply chain, whether that's planting, growing or harvesting. So there's all of this stuff going on, and I just wanted to take a bit of time today to encourage people that as these little media articles come out saying, don't worry, government's got this, we're sorting it, don't fall into that normalcy bias trap. Don't bury your head in the sand, think, oh my God, it's all too much, I'll just hope it goes away. Focus your attention on things that you can do to try and mitigate the effects of all of these different things, to plan and prepare for what's coming down the road, and get yourself stocked up, get yourself planned as to what you're going to do when all of these different things really hit further down the line. So that's pretty much it for the cabin chat today. I've got a few small jobs to do round here. Greenery for the chickens. I lifted the onions already, so there's really nothing going on now in the raised beds. There's only the potatoes there. I've still got plenty at home, so I don't plan on lifting any today. But I will have a run round with you so you can see what's left and what's happening. There's a bit of news in the garden room. There's a bit of news in the polytunnel. Don't get overexcited. But I'll have a quick run round with you before we pack up today. Because because I have got a few chores to do this weekend, as usual, at home. One quick thing, there's always something else. Before I forget, I mentioned that solar power during the cabin chat there. I had made a decision. I've actually ordered a solar power generator. I've gone for one of the more well-known branded items. I spent a bit of time on YouTube just looking at reviews and trying to weigh up the pros and cons. I can't afford to invest too heavily into this right now. I've spent a lot of money lately on the house move. I'm also spending money, evidence this morning with the stocking up on the chicken feed. I am stocking up and continuing to stock up on lots of different things. So I don't unfortunately have an endless pot of money to go at. I've been trying to pay off some debt as well, just for what I was talking about, the upcoming interest rate rises, to try and get ahead of the curve on that. I'd rather pay more now and struggle for a while than wait for the big hit that's going to come when my fixed term agreements come to an end. Even though it is 2023, 2024, I'm just trying to get ahead now, and that's why I encourage you to do the same. So yeah, I've invested in a portable solar power generator. I think there's about a week, 10-day lead time on it, which kind of indicates that this supply chain problem hasn't gone away. It's still there. Whereas you could order stuff now and it'd be here on Amazon tomorrow. For the majority of stuff now, that's not the case. So I have ordered it. When it does arrive, I will do a kind of an unbox review, and then I'll probably do another video showing you how I'm using it, or how I plan to use it if we do lose power at home, and what it is that I would be looking to keep powered, and perhaps a little bit of a load test to see just how much stuff it's possible to run on that power generator. Also pretty key, I guess, is how much power and how long it takes via the solar panel or panels. Let's see what happens. How long it takes to fully recharge that thing, because it's all right running it for a day and keeping your fridge and your freezer going, but at some point that battery is going to stop. It's going to run out. So how quickly can you recharge it and get it back to full capacity again? So all of that stuff to come. So I have done something. I have made a decision. I've spent quite a bit of money on doing it. So I'll give you a few videos to show you that as and when it happens. So stay tuned. Enough rambling for me. Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well. I hope you are enjoying the weekend. Thanks to all the people who do comment regularly. Really do appreciate your comments. Please do continue to reach out. Your questions, comments, tips, suggestions don't just help me, they help everybody else that views the channel and looks through the comments. So all of you regulars out there, Heather, Pink, Jeff, Dave Smith, there are lots of you. I can't possibly, top of my head, remember them all, but I do appreciate each and every one of them and keep them coming. So I'm going to get cracked on. I'll give you a quick video of the planting, and by then it'll probably be time to get off and do lots of other stuff. Well, it wouldn't be the weekend without the greenery for the chickens, so they're all busy and happily pecking away there. Little red ones always come across to where I am. They do like me, they really do. They're my little friends. And the rest are just doing the thing. Let's have a quick run round. Got the watering can out there. I've yet to run round with the water in the polytunnel, but I wanted to give you a quick run round first, just to show you some things that are going on. No change there with the blueberries, figs, etc. The pumpkin continues to take over the garden room. It's literally everywhere. It's running rampant, it really is. But I'm loath to cut it back because I really don't know what's happening with these, what I assume is the formation of the pumpkins. They just seem to be stuck in that phase. I honestly don't know if I'm going to get any or not. But you will know because I'll tell you. The chilies equally are going absolutely mental. There's flowers everywhere. They're really spreading because the plants are over in this corner. There's 2 of them. But they're just taking over as well and continuing to pump out flowers and little chilies. They're everywhere. But the big news is, and I've been waiting for this for ages. Look at that. We've got our first red ones. We've got one here. We've got another one over here. And that one's just in the throes of changing from green to red. So yeah, I mean, they are literally everywhere. Everywhere you look, there are chilies. Look at this. And equally, these damn pumpkins. I don't know, honestly, what that's going to produce. If anything, I honestly don't know. I'm hoping, because again, they are everywhere. They're there, they're down here. I'm hoping they do produce. I suspect, if I go on my doom and gloom trip, I suspect that it's now not going to be hot enough for these plants. So we might suddenly see this spurt of growth actually go back. Whether all of these chilies will turn red, I don't honestly know. If it does start to drop really low in temperature, I have got a paraffin heater that I can pop in here. And I might be tempted to do that just to try and make sure that these don't die off. But we'll see. Quickly running the polytunnel. As I said, I lifted the onions out of those beds, so literally all that's left now is that sweet corn, which I suspect is not going to do anything. Go on, let's have a look. May as well while we're here. But I don't see any signs of corn cobs at all. That to me just looks like it's given up and said, not this year. I'm pretty sure. The strawberries are hanging in there still. They'll overwinter, as I always do. At some point I'll probably gather them all up, because I have got a plan to change the way I do strawberries next year. I saw a really nice video about a farm and what they do with strawberries, and it gave me a bit of an idea. So again, something to look forward to. Little teaser there. All of these potatoes, I know I'm going to get potatoes out of them because I've harvested them already over the last few weeks. So they're just sitting there, they'll come to no harm. Inside the polytunnel, cucumbers are starting to die back. I have been harvesting them all the way through this week. We've still got the odd one or two, you know, there's a little one down there. There's some still forming here, but again, I'm not sure. You see, they're over here, look. They're even still flowering on this one. So I'm going to leave them. I was tempted to rip them out. I might cut back a branch here and there, but I'm tempted to just leave them and see what happens. Same on this one. Again, I've been harvesting from this one. We still do have cucumbers and we still do have flowers. So rather than just rip them out, I'll give them a bit of a trim, and that'll I'll just keep going and see if I can produce any more. Tomatoes are changing colour. I have actually eaten some this week. There's not a lot on there. Again, there's millions of flowers, but there's not a lot on there in terms of actual tomato vine. Somebody did say that I ought to hack through this and cut it back, and you're probably right, actually. But a combination of time and the weather has stopped me doing that. I've got some more here, look, that are ready to go, buried behind there. This is a different variety, I think I mentioned it before, to the one I normally grow. And I'm a bit disappointed with it, I have to say. These very, very small tomatoes are not what I like. I like a bigger tomato. So, lesson learned, don't grow that variety. But they are everywhere. I mean, I've even got some growing on the ground here. I'm going to eat that one. So they are there, just not producing very much. That's very, very sweet. Very nice. The succession planting of potatoes, they've come through, which is good news. Same in this bucket. Oh, there's another one. So they will be my Christmas potatoes. I have got some tubers which I've been trying to get to chit in the cabin to plant another couple of buckets. I'll go grab the watering can. I'll take a look at those tubers actually, and if I think that they're ready, I'll pop those in buckets as well. And then really that's pretty much going to be about it for today. Well, here anyway. I've had a look at the potatoes that I had in the cabin left to go grow chits, and only half of them have got what I would call really a viable chit. I don't know if you'll see these on the camera or not. So I've got 5 here. I'll plant one bucket. Again, I'll just drop them in as I always do, in a little bit of a layer. So I've got 3 in there. I'll put 2 with the least chits nearest the top. I've got a mixture in the bottom of a little bit of old compost and a bit of fresh in this container here. So we'll get those popped in. Hopefully another week the 5 that's left in the cabin will either have grown better chits or will abandon the idea. Get that out the way, top it off with some fresh. And that's another bucket planted. Excellent. I mentioned paraffin heaters in the garden room, and that's what this is. So that's ready to go as and when. I'm hoping I don't need it, but I am a bit worried about those chilli plants and that pumpkin as the temperatures start to drop. So we'll see. It would be nice if I could get a decent harvest from those chilies, and who knows, even the pumpkin. But whatever does happen, good or bad, I will keep you posted. But for now, I've got these 2 putting on real nice growth. They'll harvest at Christmas time. We'll see what happens with this one, and we'll see what happens with those remaining potatoes I've got in the cabin. Maybe there'll be another container here shortly, who knows. Well, that's it for today. Weather's not really great for being outside. I was hoping to have a look at the bees at some point today, but it's just too cool, damp and generally miserable for them to have the roofs lifted off the hives. we'll see what happens. I was hoping today was going to be better because I did want to have a run around with Little Red Tractor, but it's just way too wet. I'd just spend my time churning the field up. Not a great deal of activity in this hive. Having said that, 2 bees just came out while I've been watching it, just to prove me wrong. Oh, there's a couple more going in. So we do still have activity there. Lots of activity on this one, which is really nice to see. And again, lots of activity on this one. So these two I'm fairly content with. It's just that last one that worries me a little bit. But without actually going inside physically and looking, which I really don't want to do today, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, all will be revealed in future videos. The sun is trying to peek out there over the trees, but there's loads of cloud around, and I suspect we are going to get a bit more rain today. But as always, we'll just have to wait and see. Mother Nature will do what she wants. There's nothing much we can do to prevent it. All we can do is try and work with it to the best of our ability. So I'm going to get myself in the car, get myself off home. Got a couple of jobs today for family members. Still got stuff to sort out in the garage. I'll upload this video. Shopping to do. The list is pretty much endless. Whatever it is that you're up to, do stay safe and well. Make a point of enjoying your weekend, and I'll catch up with you again in the next one. Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.